What is up, YouTube? We're back with another YouTube video, and we are here with another Lost Sector guide, and we're here at the Bay of Drowned Wishes in the Dreaming City. If you don't know how to get here, you gotta look at the middle right of your map. I don't know, over here at Destinations, you can see right now I'm moving my cursor on the screen. Go there, and then obviously just spawn Devilian Mist, and that's all you gotta do because it's gonna be right here on your right. So we're just gonna make our way right here, and honestly, this is a really good Lost Sector, but if you don't see this little icon here, or the little banner flag, and you don't see the icon on your map, what that means is you have to complete it normally to unlock Legend and Master difficulty. So you can see once you go through here, at some point you're going to hit the Bay of Drowned Wishes little load point. I might just take my spear out to do this a little faster. A lot of walking, but here you can see this will start it. Go through like normal, kill everything, kill the boss, and then loot the chest at the end, and you'll unlock Legend and Master difficulty. So now let's see if I can get back over here so we can go over the modifiers. Okay, it's not letting me go back up with the Sparrow. And let's make our way over here. And we're almost there. Let's go right here, and you're going to see our modifiers today are going to be shielded foes. You'll face combatants with void shields, locked loadout with extra shields, equipment locked. You will not be able to change your equipment after this activity starts. Limited revives, champion foes, overload and unstoppable champions. Then we have arc threat, 25% increase to incoming arc damage. Then we have raider shield. Scorn raiders now have void shields. Overcharge weapons. Weapon overcharges from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increased damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Then we have Arc Surge, which is 25% bonus to outgoing arc damage. And then we have Strand Surge, which is 25% bonus to outgoing strand damage. Overcharge Sniper Rifle, which is 25% bonus to sniper rifle damage. And then recommended power 1830, but 1815 and above you should be fine. Enhancement Core is uncommon, and exotic arms are rare. So if you're looking for the new Hunter exotic, this is one that you can farm today. It's pretty easy to do, I'm not gonna lie. I'll show you in just a second after I show you the build and everything. But yeah, speaking of the build, let's just get straight to it. So here's the build that we got, and it's the same one for like the 4th day in a row. It is Strand subclass with Silk Strike, with Marksman Dodge, Triple Jump, Threaded Spike, Threadling Grenades, Widow Silk, Threaded Spectre. Then we got Thread of Generation, Thread of Evolution, Thread of Binding, and Thread of Continuity. For our first weapon here, Round Robin Strand Hand Cannon. If you can get this, I highly recommend just getting one with Hatchling. It's pretty useful. But if you don't have this, don't worry about it. Something like Malfeasance, if you're not using Le Monarch, or if you don't have it and you have Malfeasance, that could work. But I think, are these both available in the same? Actually, I don't think so. Because I think you can only get this from the Forsaken pack, maybe, or I don't know. Just if you have a Malfeasance and you don't have a Le Monarch for whatever reason, that is an option. Or maybe if you don't want to use the Monarch and you rather use like something else in that spot, whatever. But don't feel like you have to use a Strand Hand Cannon too, because if maybe you just don't have one of these and you don't feel like grinding for it, a Kinetic Hand Cannon will work. You just gotta, pick which one, to be honest. If you do use one, you will get increased damage, so keep that in mind, because if you run a surge or a subclass that matches the active surge, that will give you an increase to kinetic damage. So obviously, if you run Malfeasance, you get that damage because it's kinetic, but you also get it for any other legendary hand cannon. But I'm using Round Robin Strand Hand Cannon with Hatchling. Then my secondary, Le Monarch, and this is for those overload champions. They're really annoying. Le Monarch helps you stun them pretty much instantly, and if not, it's like every second shot. And then it does do void damage, so it does like some corrosive poison damage with the poison arrows. And you don't even have to worry about putting an artifact slot, because as you can see here, the only overload mods are Scout Rifle and Trace Rifle. And this weapon has it intrinsically, meaning even in like the next 8 seasons or whatever, this will always stun overload champions because it's just the perk that's on it. So keep that in mind when you're deciding what you want to use. Anything else, comment down below if you use anything else for this, because I would love to know some other builds. Maybe if other players are looking for anything else to get it done with, that might be helpful. But for my heavy slot, Circular Logic, and it's a heavy weapon. It's strand, so we're taking advantage of the strand buff. That's why, like I mentioned, we're using the hand cannon and this heavy, and we're also using hatchling here. So when we're hitting crits or just landing multiple shots in general, we're gonna get a threadling that does increased damage because of the strand buff and everything. So that's great. And I should mention this now, but this hand cannon is solely just for unstoppable champions. You're gonna see me like kill like a couple ads with it or whatever, but my main weapon here is Le Monarch. That way we're doing that corrosive damage, that poison damage, and this is solely just to stun champions. And then for unstoppables, my method is stun them with the hand cannon, right? ADS for 3 seconds, wait for unstoppable shot to load, shoot, stun the champion, then use your heavy to do damage. So for armor, we have Ashes to Assets. You gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. Strand Siphon and Void Siphon. Strand Siphon is rapid strand weapon final blows create orbs of power, and Void Siphon is rapid void weapon final blows create an orb of power. For my arms, firepower, your grenade final blows create an orb of power. Grenade kickstart, when your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. Void loader, increase reload speed of void weapons. And that one's only here because you can see for my only other option for one slot was increase grenade throw distance with fastball. It's not that important because I'm running strand, and the threadlings will look for enemies by themselves. You know, they don't need me pointing them where to go, so that doesn't matter. And then for void dexterity, sure, if that's what you want to do, but I rather just have void loader because, again, at the end of the day, since I'm using a void bow, you shoot one arrow, then you have to load another one, so that just helps do it a little faster. Then for my chest piece here, you can see I have 3 arc resistance mods on, and to be honest, if you want, you can run 2 and then 1 void, but I do want to note this is artifice armor, so I think that extra slot comes with the artifice armor. I could be wrong, or maybe I know. I think it's just this extra slot. I don't know. Let me double check real quick actually before. Okay, yeah, so you get 3 by default. You just get an extra one right here on the side here. So you should be able to do this if you want. You could put 2 arc resistant mods and then 1 void just because of how much damage the void grenades do in the last boss room, but that's completely up to you. Now, in terms of my leg armor, we're running the exotic Star Eater scales, and what this does is when you pick up orbs, you overcharge your super, and if you fill up your super bar, right, that's when you can start picking up orbs. So you can get Feast of Light, and then after filling up your super bar, you pick up 4 orbs, you'll unlock Feast of Light times 4, and what that's going to allow you to do is do increased damage with your super. Is it necessary? Not really. If you were to use any other exotic, you could probably get away with doing super damage against the boss. It's pretty easy, but this, as you're going to see, you spam like 3 light attacks or 4 at the boss, and they got like, you know, an inch of health left. It's pretty crazy. I just like using it because it helps guarantee the boss kill. And then better already is your health begins to regenerate immediately after picking up an orb of power. Strand weapon surge and void weapon surge, and your strand weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have an armor charge, and same thing for void weapon surge. Obviously just affects your void weapons. Now I have these on because, as you can see earlier, we're generating orbs from a lot of different ways, from getting grenade kills or from weapon kills, and picking up orbs, they're gonna allow us to heal immediately while also giving us weapon surges. So we do increased damage with a strand or a void weapon, and again, you can see strand weapon, void weapon. So no matter what weapon we use, we're taking advantage of those weapon surges. So every weapon will do increased damage. And then for our cloak, time dilation, we got 2 mods on, and these are your decaying armor charge with a longer duration. So we're trying to make this last as long as possible. And then bomber, which reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. So that's going to do it for the armor here. I'll show you very quickly. The main ones you need here, as you can see, authorized mods. Void will allow you to get the exact same mods as me, because some of these are discounted, so I can easily slot them in. And as you can see, counter charge, you gain a stack of armor charge when you stun a champion. And again, when you get an armor charge, you're pretty much using the increased damage for either your strand or your weapon or your void weapon if you're following this loadout. Now, once that you're gonna need to make this loadout work. Obviously, unstoppable hand cannon, so you can stun the champion. Then we have authorized mods void, and then like I mentioned, counter charge. Pretty much all you need there. If you really want to, you can put some strand stuff, and then you can get your unraveling grounds and do increased damage and stuff like that. That's completely up to you. I'm just here giving you the stuff that I use to get it done. So that's the loadout. Let's get into the gameplay. So you can see we just loaded in, and right off the bat you're gonna have these ads here, so let's get rid of them. I'm gonna use the monarch to make it a little easier, but again, use whatever you want. Let's get an unstoppable champion back here. We are gonna try to hit the stun, but you know what, I noticed those screams down here. Let's get rid of them first. I'll also try to get rid of these little annoying fallen web mines. You can see we're gonna hit that stun, hit these crits. Can we get a finisher right now? Okay, it looks like we can't. What? I was just there. Alright, let's just get the finisher. And get rid of these enemies. And then get rid of that. And you can see the next unstoppable champion. I'm gonna pick up these orbs just to get my super fast. And I missed that one, wow. But more Screebs, try to deal with them. Then champion, I'll go for the stun, and I have 11 shots. That's great. I'm gonna go get another stun here. There we go. Try to deal with all of those. I should be able to get a finisher right about now. There we go. You're gonna see we're gonna get more, so I'm just gonna back up real quick. And deal with these enemies. Boom. Easy. Reload my hand cannon. Let me just make sure everything's loaded because I've been messing that up recently. But now that you reach this point, you're going to have a lot of ads here. Deal with this sniper guy right off the bat, to be honest. It's pretty annoying. But make sure you stun this overload champion because he's going to have these arcanades that are going to do obviously increased damage because of you know, the arc burn the enemies have. Try to get rid of him while also trying to manage all the ads that are spawning. I know it could be a little, you know, overwhelming, but this is like my third run here, and this is the only point that I've been dying at. It's just because of how many ads and everything that spawns. Now, what I think happens, and I could be wrong here, but once you defeat the champion, you can see I shot him from range. And you can see there's no more enemies spawning. But, okay, I say that, but then now enemies are spawning. Once you deal with a certain amount of ads, they're just not going to spawn anymore until you run up here. And for whatever reason, this, like, activates the next two right here. So you can see the ads behind us and to our right. To our right, we're going to get another unstoppable champion. So I recommend getting rid of the ones in the back first. And then you're going to see there's going to be more Screebs here. That overload, or not that overload, unstoppable is very scary. We're gonna just stun him. And let's make sure we get rid of these Screebs, that way we don't have anybody pushing us while we're trying to do damage. This guy's gonna come around the corner. What? Okay, there's another one. And I ended up using all my ammo there. And I'm getting hit by more Screebs. But you can see, just deal with this. And we're gonna probably, can I get the finisher? Just keep going. There we go, that was very risky. Now that we did that, we should have killed everything. Because once you kill everything, that little void wall that was blocking us is gonna go away. And I know that wasn't a perfect little explanation towards the end, but you kinda, or at least I hope you kinda get it. But any questions, feel free to just leave one and I'll comment on it. But try to destroy these just because of the explosive damage and everything. Because last thing you want is to get like a grenade thrown up here and they all blow up at the same time and you end up taking a bunch of damage. You're going to see that we have another overload champion, which I'm not very excited about. This is going to make enemies immune, so let's deal with that. Let's stun. Actually, I think that one's the tether to us, and the purple one makes them immune, I think. I don't know, something like that. But you can see how annoying this Overload Champion is with the arc damage. Then let's just keep spamming. I could take my heavy out if I wanted to, but I'm just gonna wait because we're gonna get a whole lot of more ads, and I'm just gonna use my heavy now. That way it's close to dying. And now I'm just gonna keep using heavy here. And you can see we have Feast of Light times 4 already, which is great. That way, once the boss spawns, our super is gonna do increased damage and everything. So check this out. I'm gonna put a decoy down and run over here. The boss is there. You can see he's a giant Scorn enemy that you can't miss. But I'm just gonna get everything there and just use my super here. You can see spamming that light attack does a whole lot of damage. And then you can see the Screebs. Watch out for those. But if you do it right there, you should be safe. I thought I was gonna die, to be honest, but there we go. Renewal Grasp. Sure. 3 exotic. But that's going to do it for the run. 5 minutes, not bad. Again, if you need an exotic, today is, I think, a good day to try to farm. But if you don't have time, I wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. So make sure to leave a like if you found it helpful. Comment down below any questions, any concerns. Make sure to ring the bell so you don't miss another video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.